just passing by. I'm just passing by. Alright, I'm not passing by anymore. I want to look at the use of English, and I want to look at developing English vocabulary. Well, the last time I checked my skin color, I think I'm black. I'm not from America. I'm not from England. I'm not from Britain. So I'm not a native speaker of English. But we want to learn vocabulary. And you know what? I'm not good at vocabulary. So because I'm not good at vocabulary, and I want to learn vocabulary, and you want to learn vocabulary, you're going to be catching me making mistakes in my use of vocabulary, in my use of English language sentences. If you catch me make the mistake, please, you can help us and drop on the comment section the correct usage of that vocabulary. I will be pleased to have your comment on the comment section. Just watch as I use the vocabulary or the use of my grammar. Please catch the errors, help us drop that correct answer in the comment section so that I can learn and many and lots of viewers out there can also learn. So let's go without much further ado to the subject or to the topic of today. So we're looking at developing English vocabulary. Now let's go to the board. The first thing to notice is that vocabulary is not the same thing as grammar. I'm going to show you. You see, grammar is not vocabulary. Alright? Grammar is not vocabulary. You see, those of us that are not native speakers of English, when somebody tends to use a lot of vocabulary in his or her communication, we say, this guy speaks a lot of grammar. Well, you can use vocabulary, and if it is not used in the correct sentence structure, that is not grammar. Because grammar is a structure, is simply a structure or the arrangement of words in English language to form a correct sentence or a clause. I take it again. Grammar is a structure or the arrangement of words to form a correct English language sentence or clause. Well, vocabulary is not grammar. So, what is vocabulary? Alright, vocabulary are simply words that are used in a particular language. I take it again. Vocabulary are simply words that are used in a particular language. So you can see that vocabulary can be used while we're making a correct grammar structure. Alright, having said that, the vocabulary comes from the Latin word vocabulum. Came from the Latin word vocabulum. So what does this mean? This means the word name. It means what? The word name. Now, when you look at the meaning of words and you are able to understand the meaning of the word and also the use of that word, that becomes your vocabulary. And that is seen as an active vocabulary. So we have two types of vocabulary. We have active vocabulary and we have passive vocabulary. So let's look at that. We have active vocabulary and we have passive vocabulary. So we look at vocabulary. We have active and then we have the passive. Alright, what's the difference between the two? Now, the active vocabulary, these are lexical items or words that you understand and you can use in communication and in writing. These are words or lexical items you understand and you can use in communication. That is, while speaking or while writing. There are common vocabularies that we use in English language. We use vocabularies like house, chair, bed. You see, all those common words that are used are also called vocabularies. But we have higher vocabularies that we don't know, or vocabulary that we don't understand. And most vocabulary, if you don't understand it and if you don't know it, is seen as a passive vocabulary. So if you looking at passive vocabulary, it means the vocabulary that you don't understand, you don't know, and apparently you cannot use it in communication or in writing. Sometimes you might even know the vocabulary, you might know the meaning of the vocabulary, but you cannot use it while you're writing or while you're communicating or speaking. That is still a passive vocabulary. Alright, how to say that? What is the importance of vocabulary? Vocabulary helps you to break down complex ideas. Vocabulary also helps you to communicate and write effectively in English language. So, we are looking at vocabulary under subtopics. There are topics that you should be looking out for in English language if you must understand vocabulary. So we look at the subsections or the subtopics. The first one to look at in the subtopic is the word roots. So, word roots and affix. Word roots and affix. Number 2, you look at antonyms and synonyms. Number 3, you look at homophones and homonyms. Alright. Number 4, you look at register. Number 5, you look at connotatives. Connotatives and denotatives. Number 6, you look at idiomatic expression. Number 7, you look at figure of speech. Number 8, you look at proverbs. Then number 9, let me put this number 9 here. Number 9, you look at formal and informal pattern of speech. Alright? So, if you want to learn vocabulary, these are subsections of topics that we'll be looking at in our series of developing English vocabulary, known as word building. So, if you're looking at it, we're going to be taking it one after the other. So, this is just an introduction to this video on developing English vocabulary. So, that means in our next video, we'll be looking at word roots and affix. Of course, you know that affix is divided into 2. Affix is divided into suffix and prefix. Alright, so having known that, this is what we have got for you in this video. Meanwhile, if you're serious in developing your vocabulary, other teachers will tell you, and I also tell you, you should read voraciously. Read voraciously. Read any material, any article of your interest that you can lay your hand upon in English language. Read voraciously. And number 2, listen to people who has high vocabulary in their portfolio. Listen to people who have high vocabulary in their portfolio. Also, you use those vocabularies that you have heard or you have read. You try to use this vocabulary that you have heard and that you have read while communicating. That is three major ways of learning vocabulary. If you just stick to the dictionary and you want to be reading the dictionary every morning, you pick up the dictionary, you pick up a new word, and you look at the new word, and you have a lot of words, a lot of vocabulary, and then sometimes you forgot them. But what you're going to do to learn vocabulary is, number one, read voraciously, and then note the vocabulary you're seeing there and try to use them while communicating or writing. Number two is that you listen to people, listen to personals, listen to persons who knows or who have high vocabulary in their portfolio or in their usage of grammar. And then you listen to them, you pick from them, and then you try to use what you have heard from them to communicate while writing or while speaking. Then finally, these are the subsections of topics you're going to be looking at if you truly want to learn vocabulary. So, this is all we've got for you in this video. We'll be waiting for you in the next class. Remember, I'm just passing by. I'm just passing by. Bye.